Well, all right then. Loud and annoying on that transition sound. One day I will fix it. When will that day be? I don't know. When I get around to it. I know I'm kind of a failed streamer slash YouTuber because I don't have a schedule, and even my new videos every week, someone, I think it was Gabby, pointed out, I don't do videos every week. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but yeah, I just do it when I can. You know, when the moment strikes and I know, I feel it in my bones, it's time to create a video or start the stream, that's when I do it. I just kind of feel it out. If the chakras align and the aura is right and the moon is set high in the sky, then I feel it. And then I'm like, all right, it's time to either do a video or a live stream, and that's when I do it. If you're a shaman, you probably wouldn't know when I start, but if you're not, just gonna have to wait. All right, so that is I know, I'm terrible. I don't know why anybody watches me. But today I did want to go over a WinUtil revamp. Last night I was sitting there, my daughter had a thing, and I was sitting there on my phone, and I installed GitHub so I don't waste my time with the brain rot of social media. Important pro tip there. And I was sitting there going through the discussions on WinUtil for the past 3 years. I only made it a year of the discussions, mostly. And in the discussions, there was a couple things that kept popping up that I noticed that people have felt very passionate about. And I was like, I need to talk about this and I maybe fix it, because if people are saying something about it, it's, you know, a community run program, essentially. So the two things were, one, Microwin. I want to make Microwin like this perfect ISO that does it, but the problem is Windows ISOs and reloading Windows is not a newbie friendly task. It's not something that the average person can do properly. And a lot of people don't understand how to load Windows properly, nor what ISO and those types of things to use. And I'm starting to think it might be something we remove. It might be something we just take out. Or maybe it gets forked to somebody else and they take it over and we just remove it completely. So that's kind of my thought. I don't know how many people actually use it. We're going to do a poll here on chat through both YouTube and Twitch. You'll be able to vote and see what you guys think, because do you use Microwin? A lot of people I think don't, but the people that do I think had some kind of issue, or it didn't line up exactly how they wanted it, so they end up using like NT Lite or something else different. It could be different. So I'll do a poll in chat and see what the general consensus is of everybody around. So just get a heartbeat on it. And then the second thing, the GUI, the program installation. Now this is something I really wanted to warm up to. Drift User initially redid it, and I was like, oh, that's such a cool idea, and he spent all this time on redoing it. But looking back on the old iteration of it, there's some nostalgia there with the checkboxes and just the listing, the simple listing. And I really thought I'd warm up to the new GUI. But after looking at the discussion forums, there's a lot of people that never really warmed up to that GUI. And I'm like, I think I might remove it. Might go back to the old way. And that's where I'm kind of like, So that's kind of my thought process there. I think we minimize and kind of go back to the old installs, because I look at the current installs and I'm like, it's not the most intuitive thing. It might look better, but to me, I would just much rather have checkboxes and just check all the things I want, hit install, be done. The highlighting of the text and how it gets justified, I just never really warmed up to it. So I think those are the two big things I noticed. But let's do a poll. Let's do a poll, figure it out. And that's kind of where I'm at. Those are the two things I really wanted to revamp today. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fantastic. All right, first up, poll. We need to do a straw poll so we can combine the chats. All right, question. Remove Microwin from toolbox. Yes, I don't use it, and it bloats things. No, I use it all the time when reloading Windows. Bam. All right, let's do that. Let's create us a poll. And you know what? I'm gonna say I use it all the time. Actually, I don't really use it that often. Just on stream. Alrighty, guys. Let's see the results, and we're gonna come on over and paste it into chat so you all can do the vote. You will drive what happens. Yeah, Microwin could be another utility. We could just fork it too. I don't want to lose all the project all the work that had been done on it, but I feel like it should probably be its own separate thing. And man, yeah, that's pretty that's pretty solid. Yeah, Microwin is just the ISO creator part of the toolbox, and it does require a lot of code and a lot of maintenance. Every single major feature release requires, I mean, Coding Wonder spends a ton of time on it, and often I'm sitting there on stream reloading Windows multiple times going, okay, what screwed up this time? Let's work on this new ISO. And it is sucking a lot of time in development. And that's where I'm kind of like, I think it's time. Based on what I'm seeing here, I think it was definitely a good poll to ask everybody, because I think it's time to kill it. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think it should be forked. Like I said, the code will always live on, and I think we make our own Microwin ISO. But after looking at how much code that goes into it, and like Coding Wonders has done a great job with it, but like the last pull request he did with that, he wanted to add like diagnostic tools to kind of be able to
do the binds,
to be able to just see what's going on with that person's system, because whoever, depending on who's installing it, people install it different ways, they grab different ISOs, there's so much that goes into it, so many different variables that are uncontrollable that can cause issues. So yeah, it deserves its own tool. I agree. I think it should be forked. And I think we even talked about it. Like, I think it was Calum and Coding Wonders. We were talking, we had a little Microwin group, and they talked about forking it a while back. And I was like, well, maybe not. And I was like, that's hard for me to keep up with it. And I was just like, okay. But now looking at the discussions from WinUtil yesterday, because I went through probably 100, 200 discussion posts. And I was like, man, Microwin was probably 100. They were probably like half of those discussion posts, which is crazy that it's taking that much time and energy away from the actual core of the utility, which is more important. I feel like we would get a better product at the end of the day if it just got forked off to its own project. So, all right. Well, that's about as clear as day as it gets on a vote, guys. Usually it's like 50-50. Usually chat are a bunch of trolls and just go, well, we're just going to split the vote. But that's pretty much a landslide in the removal of it. So that's what we get. All right. Well, and then the other thing, which I'm going to launch in just to kind of showcase the difference GUIs. And I kind of want to do a poll on it too, just so everyone kind of has a say of things and say which way do they like better. on the GUIs, because I'm going to launch both just so everyone kind of remembers what the old way looks like. Now, I'm not going to revert all the code. I think we're going to redo the code altogether. And then put it in. So yeah, Cody Wonders like, I don't use it either. I just kind of do it as a passion project. Oh man, Coding Wonders, you're an amazing dude. To not even use it and then keep up with it, you're a Chad. You're a Chad in my book, bro. Oh, 1 second, Gabby. We're gonna take a look. What do you got as a gist? And some people have made some just ridiculous PRs, by the way. C module used to remove. Yeah, we were already doing this. With the win one shot, actually. I wonder how I coded it in win one shot. I'll have to take a look. But I believe we were using something like that. Well, that's pretty succinct. I do like how minimal that code is. But I think, I know we were doing async, and I want to say we had to add a else statement for provision packages, as I think just remove package didn't take into account provisioned and non-provisioned. I could be wrong though. I remember we did a bunch of tests on it that Gabby during the stream when we did that. All right. So much faster, it's crazy. Yeah. That's how it was. Like using that was just so much better. Oh, let's see what we got. Man, what is my scale set to? Bro, it was like 150 or something. That was the last time I launched into this. All right, we're gonna do the poll. We're gonna do the poll on the GUI here in a second. Where did they move this crap again? Display settings. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know where it went. Scale. What? Scale's not set. Okay, that was weird. Uh-oh. I forget what I made my password. It's okay. I hard-coded it in the registry. Oh. Because I didn't want to mess with it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
D4, thank you for the tier 1. Did I miss any other? I think I missed some others too, by the way. Let's see. Tuck Smurf, thank you for... Oh, geez, let's see. Let's come over here. Oh, we got a bunch of people joining. Yaz, thanks for the prime. Oh, that was 2 days ago. Tux, D4. Much appreciated, guys. Much appreciated. All right, here we go. We're back in business. The scale has been fixed. I think I had like old man scale mode going on. Maybe, oh, it might have been from WinUtil. Anyways, here is current WinUtil. Let's launch the current. And then I want to kind of show people, if you think development used to be good, I'm going to show you how to run an old version of WinUtil as well. So let's just go, this is the current version that everyone's running. And based on the current poll, we're going to remove the Microwin tab, which is going to debloat things by probably several thousand lines of code. So here's Microwin. We're probably going to remove this tab, just have install, tweaks, config, and updates like we used to. Now, when you go to install stuff, you highlight like this and then hit install, right? And that's how it used to be. Code, much appreciated. Appreciate all the support, guys. It's awesome. So that's kind of the current setting of it. It's not bad. It's a good system, and how the search feature and everything works pretty well. But let's now launch another version side by side. We'll analyze it side by side and just see what you all think. Let's go to how far back? I want to say a year. I think a year should bring us to the old GUI. How many releases have we had is probably a better question. Dude, look at all these releases. We've been busy. All right, we're going to go back to December of 2024. So we're going to just go to this release.
Look, I want to say, I know you know
Copy
a lot of
link.
super people, so
Rux, thanks for the
me.
re-membership over on YouTube, man. All right, there's that. And also, thanks for moderating YouTube. Talk about an impossible task. All right, so we're going to do an IRM directly into this, and this is going to launch WinUtil for a year and 2 months. So this is 14 months ago. This is what WinUtil used to look like. So, side by side, here was the old WinUtil. And here is the new WinUtil. Very different. Which one? This is old. This is new. New, old. I think the old one's cleaner. I agree. I think it is better. I really wanted this to work, but I don't think it does. I just don't think it's very good in comparison to how we used to have it. All right, let's do a poll. As I'm just all into polls today. Let's create a poll. Old WinUtil GUI versus new WinUtil GUI. All right, old and new. Create poll. I'm kind of fond of the old myself. After looking at it side by side, we're gonna go to results. Let's share this poll. Copy. Gonna go over and paste it in here. Bloop. And just so you have while you're voting, this is the new, this is the old. Which do you prefer? Your vote today is of the utmost importance. It will dictate what happens to Windows utility. You could cast the deciding vote to determine what happens. Whereas I don't care. Well, I guess you just don't vote then. Right? Yeah, I mean, if you don't care, why vote? Real talk. I honestly, I don't think you should vote if you don't care. But if you really like to vote, I don't know, whatever you're feeling. All right, old, new, old, new. Here we go. What does everyone say? Oh, you know what? That's a lot more new than I thought. I mean, old's still winning with 66% of the vote, but 2/3 say old, 1/3 says new. There are some people that do like the new design. 6-7. That's funny. Can we keep the left panel? Yeah. I mean, we can do whatever we want. If you can think it up, we can do it. Do you guys like the left panel? All right. So you prefer the left panel right here instead of over the top. I could see that. Yeah, so I think some people are partial to the left panel. And that is very clear. You have actions, package manager, and selection, where this doesn't give a lot of room for expansion. I also like how it tells you how much is selected. So let's combine the best of both worlds. We're going to have some synergy between the two out of both. We're going to keep the bones of this one. We're just going to take this section, redo it into kind of how this looks, but we'll keep the left panel. Oh, gosh darn it. I really like that. What a brilliant idea. Yeah. I think we combine the old with the new, so everybody's happy. I love it. All right, guys, let's get going. Oops. Yeah, try to close that. All right. So this is the old release. Let's go back to this commits. Can we explore the code? Let's browse the repository from this point in time. We're going to look at the XAML files. Input XAML. And how are we doing the text with checkbox? Let's see. So this is kind of what we have currently. Let's pull up old WinUtil. Yep. Gravy. Let's check and download our updates, shall we? All right, now get status. All right. I think I was coding offline. I had it a little bit too small so no one could read that. All right, let's close all this. Now, first order of business. I think we fix the GUI first with the installs. So let's go over into... Now, I don't believe from the application menu, that's where it's pulling all the apps from. And I believe we can just change the XAML right here. So label for tweaks, that's fine. Let's update now, 1 second. All right, whatever. Close that. Yeah, let's clear that. All right, so we have checkbox. Now we're just determining where are those applications getting pulled in. So we have the dynamic resource. Button template. And we've had so many changes from here, so this is not going to be a copy paste. You're going to have to decipher some of this. It's been so long. Scroll bars. Man, it's wild how after a year of looking at code, you don't even remember what you did. All right, so this is the main draw. Then we have menu items, scroll bars, text block, app border entries, app entry checkbox style. Okay. So right here is where it starts. Now, how we used to do it. Menu items, scroll bar thumbs. Then we enter into our text blocks, buttons. This is the top part. Scroll bars again. Seems redundant. And then we have the grid. Man, this is just not very readable. Checkbox style. Border style. Let's bring that corner radius down. I think we're going to just have to freehand it. So I have no idea. So here's our app entries. Here's the border. Padding. Where is this set? App entry margin. Where, oh where? Ah. Okay. We did a theme. That's right. Back in the day, we didn't even do themes. Or we started to, but it was poorly implemented. So let's look at our themes. We have our app entry font size, margins. I kind of want to bunch these up a little bit on the y-axis. For padding margin. Let's go. Padding property. What is X, Y, and other values from this? Let's see if it can determine what that is. All right, so. Okay, so left top, but right bottom. So it goes left, top, right, bottom. So I would like a 1 0 1 0. I don't like a lot of space between what we're doing. So we're gonna go 1 0 1 0. Save that. So that's fine. All right. Let's look at more. Then we got app entry width. Why is that specified? So we have app entry width of 130. See, I think the app entry width should be. I think this should be max width. And then it should. Well. If you don't specify a width, it should dynamically adjust, in my mind. So, think. All right, and then checkbox style. Background transparent, horizontal left, vertical alignment left, margin. Oh, that should be top. Actually, no, that should be center, actually. That's the vertical left. Okay. Template. Vertical alignment center, horizontal left. Template padding, template binding padding. Is this specified elsewhere? Padding of 5. Let's bring that down. I really like things kind of bunched together. I don't like a lot of space. Whenever I see space, I'm like, ugh. Menu item. That's fine. Oh, people are trying to help me in chat. Oh, what do we got? We haven't even done any vibe code, Iwu. Right now, we're just using it for reference. So, I know there's a lot of AI hate out there, but it's really good for reference. Like, when I was like, how is the padding specified with the values? 1, 1, 1, 1. I don't know. What's top, what's bottom, what's left, what's right. Instead of like having to search through manuals to find exactly what that is, you can just ask AI and be like, hey, what's the syntax? And then it spits out, hey, this is left, right, top, bottom. And then you're like, okay, cool. And then you go back. You can't vibe code a GUI. Like, that's the thing people miss. Like, you can like hack around, but you can't vibe code a GUI. You have to do it by hand. There's no way. Like, it might give you something like to start with, but you can't vibe code a GUI. Full stop. Every attempt I've ever made to vibe code a GUI, I think one time has given me some cool ideas, but then you have to take the code and dump all the crap that gets added and then manually code the GUI. There's no way to vibe code a GUI that I know of, at least without it bloating to hell and gone, and a lot of times it adds so much crap. So, and it's hard to tell because there's so much opinion, and it's very subjective. So it's not like a black and white, hey, this is good, this is bad. So the LLM has no way of differentiating what is right and what is wrong. So that's why GUIs are just a hot mess in general when it comes to LLMs. Oh yeah, what was look at line 515, 569. I think is here in the latest XAML. Oh, okay. 515, 569. What is 515, 56? All right, 516. Okay, checkbox template. So this is a template for it. Border thickness 1, margin, let's bring that down to 1. Snap. Yeah, that should be 1. Stop. Checkbox container. Center. Visibility collapsed. What is this? Is further down. I don't know if this is the actual checkbox for. I think this is for the tweaks, isn't it? Ah, server core, man. All right, coding. I love server core. Yeah, so you're using, this is an example of a checkbox template, since this is what we're doing for the tweaks themselves. So let me launch in the tweaks. So this is your checkbox. Frankly, I think we can go with a smaller margin there. That's almost a little too much space right there. Man, I know it's gonna, some people are gonna be like, that's a little crowded. I don't care. We're going 1. Let's see what that looks like. Checkmark container. Okay. It's the view box. Container presenter, margin 4 from the left. And then visible is checked true. Check mark container. So, and then we got our radio buttons. So I believe this is what is used in the tweaks section from what Duo sent me. It's not a bad template. What is this data right here, though? Margin 0. 5L space 5. 10L 12 0. I don't know what that is. PRs, maybe, if we get to them. I really want to get the GUI fixed first, though. That's something that I think a lot of people want. So we'll probably do just straight up coding today. I know this might get a little boring, as GUI work is a bit of an imprecise science. Button style. So here's the setter property template button. Checkbox template. The radio button. I wonder what the radio button's. Oh, that's our toggles, isn't it? God, I need to redo those stupid toggles. Yeah. So you have the checkbox. Here's the template. So you have target type checkbox, boom, margin, bullets, size, height, width, border, view box. Then you have the actual checkbox itself, the path of the check mark, boom, content presenter. That's fine. Is checked, is mouse over. But where the hell is the label? Yeah, maybe. Let's see. So far, from a commits perspective, we've just changed some of the theming, some of the spacing, and padding. So I wanted to kind of clean up and tighten up this. Let's go WinUtil. Let's do a compile run just so people can see, just to make sure that padding and stuff is being adjusted accordingly. Should be much closer together with a lot less padding. And then the idea is just line it down. But I also want to make sure it's not overlapping or affecting other parts of it. Okay, so you can see pushing everything to the left, making the columns. It's pretty much what I wanted. Before, it kind of like grouped it all together in like a justified like Word doc, and I didn't like that. So this I already enjoy a lot better. Also, getting rid of this. You can see the width though. It's just... Maybe... How to address the cutoff? So many different decisions going through my brain right now on the cutoff. Anyways, I do like this. It makes it much easier to differentiate between them. but I would like it alphabetical, and I would prefer it left to right. What's tweaks look like? They look the same. Okay. So much easier to select everything, but I still don't like left to right. I want it top to bottom, left to right. I'm trying to think. To start, I just want to make sure that spacing jived with my thought process, and it does. All right. For the app button style. All right, let's see what AI says. For app entries, this should be top to bottom, left to right, and have a checkbox visible before the entry. We'll work on the spacing later. I don't think it's going to be able to spit anything worthwhile, though. Yeah, checkboxes might fix a few things, but it also might bloat it up a little. It's already trying to like hard code some stuff. We'll see what it looks like. Not too bad so far. 25 lines, 5 lines removed. It looks like it's just going to add a checkbox next to each resource and change the text block. Yeah, we can try it. I don't think that's... I think it's going to be weird. Cyberpunk is what I'm using for the VS Code theme. It actually applies it automatically. And then I don't hit keep until I see the code actually execute and see what it looks like. Yeah, see, it didn't actually do anything. We do get an error now. Oh, wait, no, that's just because it's being used. Let's just relaunch one more time. Maybe there's some background that I missed. I do think you need to keep. All right, well, if you look at the source control here, the hell? Okay, that worked. Perfect. Awesome. Now, the new GUI, everyone, you just need to have it like this. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I like it. I like it. Let's, it's a good start. It's a good start. All right, let's go app entry. We're gonna go 200 on that margin. We're gonna go 200 here. We're gonna actually make our first commit. Clean up and checkbox addition. Commit. We're not committing this to main branch, so don't freak out on me. We're not gonna sync the changes or anything. We'll pull this into a new branch. New install GUI. We'll just make a new branch. Publish branch. Origin, sure. Yeah. No pull request. All right. So that's our first commit of this PR. Look at me. I'm not committing to to main. So don't freak out on me, chat. All right, cool. Now, I like where we got. Let's make this a little more succinct. We're gonna get a little bit wider on the margins. I feel like 200 pixels. I feel like we could get away with 3, maybe 4 columns. Based on, I want to do like a dynamic column readjustment. Do it, merge it. Yeah. So what I'm thinking here is something that looks great. So what we'll do is make columns based on theme. Where the hell are you? Theme. Themes JSON. Based on max entry and max and current width of the window. So make columns based on app entry width and current width of window for install tab. Actually, we're just gonna leave it like right there. Bam. See if we can't etch out something. So we're going to use the theme app entry, and then it should be able to detect the current width of the window and then make a dynamic column layout based on that. See what it vibes up here. Okay. Use wrap panel instead of visual stack panel. Changes enables dynamic column layout and automatically adjusts based on app entry width. Current window width, as Windows entries will automatically wrap to contain the optimum number of columns. 800 width 400, 5 column 1000. I'm not sure this takes into account the side panel when this dynamic change happens. If we look at what it changes, Okay. It's not at all what I envisioned. It's minimal though. Let's see what we get. Let's keep that. Let's build.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Gabby, it's for members, people that subscribe. It should be in the members area of the Discord. Perfect. No notes. Absolutely perfect. That's pretty much what I wanted, actually. Nailed it. All right, squash and merge. Let's go on to the next thing, shall we, guys? Flawless. It's about what I wanted, actually. Believe it or not, it's not as screwed up as as you think. Actually, I think what we can do here. Believe it or not, you can actually feed AI. Let's see what the AI can do here. It's interesting. Okay. So you can feed it the pasted image. The list under the category label should, the app list, I should specify. The app list under the category should not have space between categories. And if the, let's do, if app entries exceed vertical space, they should wrap to next column. To eliminate unused space. I spelled eliminate wrong. Whatever. It's got it. Yeah. The GUI is built completely in PowerShell. At least this one. WinOneShot, which is going to be the paid WinUtil executable at the end of the day, is going to be written in all .NET. So we'll have a paid version of WinUtil, and then the free version will be all PowerShell. And the paid version will just be faster because it's all written in .NET. But the cool thing is both will use the open source JSON files. So all the tweaks, everything will be mirrored between both editions. It'd be kind of cool. That's not going to work. Let's see. All right, so horizontal, well, actually maybe. Stretch and center. Top alignment, left. Remove the margin for thickness. Bind max height to scroll viewer's height to enable column wrapping. Never seen that before. That'll be interesting. All right, let's keep that. Let's see what we got. Kind of run WinUtil in wine. Just use LinUtil. That's the whole reason for the Linux utility. .NET can be annoying to work with, but I kind of like it. I mean, actually, right now I said C sharp, but we're gonna use F sharp. I probably should have used C sharp. All right, it's better, but we still gotta fix this. Let me think. What's happening here? Let's use our brains, shall we? So Microsoft Tools is actually getting pushed down here. How is it pulling in the columns, and why is that being separated? That should be before each app entry. Let me think about that for a second. All right, let's try and use our brain here for a second. So add category, target, pre-group app by category. Category label. Let's go ask. We're not going to go agent mode. Nope. Let's go ask. Category label is in its own column where the app entries should be directly below it. Stack panel container for each. Well, shoot. Hell, let's just go back to agent. Being added as a separate item, creating its own column. Okay, remove the add category. Create container for category label plus apps. All right. Should be fine. Yeah, everything uses native Windows UI components. So this is all baked in. I don't pull any external libraries. Otherwise, we'd use like WinUI 3 or some other library. I've been really liking Valonia UI frameworks lately. All right, there we go. Perfect. So now we have a more succinct setup. It's looking a lot better. I like how clean that is. But now we should clean this up more. It's pretty cool. I like how it dynamically, like if you take it, it'll automatically adjust to what is there. It's close. I think this stream's gonna be just me sitting here staring at the ceiling while I think of the next move. Mainly tune it, BI3. the major revamps will come in the offline utility, or the paid executable, I should say, because that one has a way different look and feel. Like, just to show it, because I know some people are interested. This is coming along really well. As much as I crapped on AI on GUIs, if you actually feed it the actual proper variables to change, and then give it if you contain it in there and tell it exactly what it's actually pretty damn good. That's I was wrong, I'd say. That was way better than I thought it would be. All right, let's do this. Let me pull the changes. .NET run. So this is what the paid executable will look like in the future. I'm thinking in a month. Sometime in March, I want to say I want to get this out and running. 1 second, we got to do a restore. I think I was working on this on the other one. So this is kind of a new look and feel for like this. I want to revamp the toggles in the main PowerShell because they don't really work all that well, and I want to pull all those in. For the install tab, this is fine. It's kind of a different look and feel, but these install much faster, and the tweaks happen a lot quicker. Like if you just select these, let me just run these just so you see the difference. So then you have a little bit of a progress, a change, and then it's all applied directly. This is very rough draft. I think someone donated in the last stream. I think they donated like $500 or something, and I was just like, all right, whatever, here you go. And I just pasted a link in chat to everybody. I was like, here's the alpha. Config tab, this is all placeholders. So this is just junk right now. Updates. So this will be much like the regular updates, and this is just placeholders as well. So these two tabs are not functional at all. There's just sample placeholders. The thought process here is because all the tweaks and how everything's laid out is coming from JSON files from WinUtil. What I thought is we would have a version like you'd have your Windows Update crap in here, but I would add a new section for WinUtil, and I would make the tweaks and applications to where you could switch between different versions. Like, let's say you like the tweaks from like a year ago, like how you Windows 10, some of the older tweaks are probably better for it. And you'd be able to switch between the versioning and also control the update cycle. So for an advanced user, you can get in here and be like, dude, this is awesome. I want the latest tweaks. Boom, there it is. But you could hit the drop down and go, no, I want the tweaks from a year and a half ago. And you could switch back to that date and time, and it would automatically switch all of those on the fly. And also it would let you know if there's updates. But if you don't have online access, all the JSON files would be labeled for different versioning. So the update scheme for the offline utility, I think here in like a year will be just so cool. Like, I can't wait for people to see how that update would work, because it would essentially be a living, breathing project. But imagine like any other project that you can think of, or from software development, like Photoshop, right? Or Microsoft Office, right? Imagine you could just at a moment's click go between, you know what, I liked Word as it was in 2013. You just go back 12 years, boom, click, and then everything would change in the entire app to be exactly as it was 12 years ago. That is so cool. And that's the thought process behind where the offline executable goes. It's still driven by the WinUtil open source project in PowerShell, but it's a whole different project. So if you donate, you get the same tweaks, but you have all these other options and stuff that are still available for everybody for free over here if you know PowerShell, and you can do it all there, but it's more in like a friendly format. And that's kind of where my brain's at with that. So it's really cool, man. I just love, like, I look at software development today, and it's kind of like most AAA or big companies making software. I'm like, dude, you could do such a better job. Like, if you had infinite resources and you just could go to town. I mean, why do they produce such drivel, like just crap? where there's so many like really cool stuff you could do. Where a lot of times when I see a new update, I'm just like, all they did was just reorganize everything and screw all the current users, because you're just going, where is this now? And it's hard to find. And I'm like, ah. So anyhow, sorry, it's just one thing because it's not made with passion. Yeah, I think that's the thing, is I do love that, and we'll see what happens with Microsoft too. Like, they lost, I think it was $800 billion or something crazy when their stock crashed from this last reporting. So I wonder how they'll do with like the AI push. I know they're cutting back on the AI push, so I'm really kind of curious to see what ends up happening and what they actually change. Okay, so this works great, but close. What I want now, each category, the biggest category with lots of app entries has no space after it, but categories with only a few entries have lots of space. The next category should fill, should be directly after. So there is no blank space. I think that made sense. Let's see what. Okay, the wrap panel's back house is bind to scroll viewer viewport height. This causes small categories to reserve the entire viewport height, even with few items, creating blank space. Large categories fill the space so they have no gap after them. The fix is to remove max height binding and let the wrap panel size naturally based on its content. This will ensure categories will have will take the only space they need. So we're just removing code. Well, I like those. Those are my favorite commits. All right, keep that. And now we should have something resembling a good UI for install that's reminiscent of the old, but takes a lot of the new features and makes them awesome. Here we go. $30% off? Maybe. All right, let's see what we got. Nah, that didn't work. Max height would split those. Agree with what it did, but I'm trying to think what's the best way. Each category has its own small, categories with limited or small app entries take up its own column, when the next category should be directly below it if there is space. Stack categories on one another. Thank you, Razzle. That'd probably be the better terminology here. Yeah. I should have given it a hint for stacking. Yeah, it'll just bring back the white space. Let me see what else it is. Dynamically calculate max height based on number of apps in each category. I don't think that'll do it. Yeah, max height will still... I'm not feeling that. Does GitHub on Opus 4.6? Let me see. 4.5. No, I got 4.6. It's at 3x the token cost, though. Ugh. It's okay. Sonnet 4.5's just fine. Yeah, 4.5, man. I love Sonnet 4.5. It's... You will have to pry that away with, you know, from my hands. We can try this. I don't see this working. Because the category should stack. Well, let's see what it does. I just don't... I could be wrong. But the code looks wrong. Ooh, we should try scaling next. Thank you for comment. Yeah, it pretty much did what I thought it would do. Like, what happens... It's actually based on the initial. What happens if we bring the width in? Oh, weird. Look at that. All right. Let's bring up that scale, see what happens to the scale then. Got to try all this out. It's not as bad as I thought, actually. Scale looks actually okay. But it looks like it recalculates based on the time of scale. Oh, man. All right. Yeah. Interesting. The categories could stack on below the last entry. I think that's going to want to put it all in one, though. Let's see what happens. No. But doing that... Yeah, I see what it's trying to do, but I just don't think that's the... I don't think that's what we're gonna do. Maybe. It could work. But no, that'll bring it back to kind of how it was. Although, It might not be so bad. Let's see. I don't think I'm gonna like it though. I really kind of wanted a vertical orientation directly above, but let's try it. But I think it's gonna go left, right, and then category left, right, category left, right. Maybe not. It might not be the worst. Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. All right. Checkbox is smaller. Let's bring the checkboxes in line. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily love it. I think it's a lot better than what we had, though. I think it's a massive improvement. Yeah. All right, smaller checkboxes. Let's do that. So that's the app list. Install area, which I don't think. I think we're actually going to have to go back to the XAML. Yeah. All right, let's go back to the XAML. Text block. App entry border checkbox. Here we go. Let's go with a 12 and a 12 for the height. Actually, let's bring this and make it 16. Otherwise, it's going to smush it. I think we just make the checkbox border less. Margin 8. So it goes left, top, right, bottom. Where's that bottom? I think that's fine. No, I still need to try helium, man. It's like one more thing. I will though. That did not do what I wanted it to do. It's okay. I like the spacing though, other than the checkboxes being all on top of one another. Actually, let's run it again. It looks like it was still in use by another process. Sometimes that happens when you do back-to-back compiles. I think maybe I forgot to close it. It's like, I should have done something. There we go. What do we think? Scale it up so you guys can see it. Go like 150. A lot better. So it uses a lot of Drift's code. Like, as far as what Drift redesigned here, I thought he did a fantastic job. It just needed a little bit of tweaking. Shows a selected count, clear count. You can go Winget, chocolatey. So it's a massive improvement, but it takes kind of like the throwback from the app list of yesteryear. Add top margin to labels. I kind of like it bunched. I think the check mark should be inside the box. Meh. Don't like
Yeah, well,
between the
binds.
checkbox and the app. Should the checkbox have smaller? Too much space between? We can go a little bit less. Sorry for the unrequited questions, but I saw your I used Linux 8 years ago video and noticed you had WoW running in a QEMU with Windows. Can it run smoothly? I've used VirtualBox for years. Yeah. So Windows and virtualization is awful. Straight up. Like, Windows users are just second-class citizens in the virtualization realm. Hyper-V is awful, but probably the best option for Windows users. And it's very limiting. I used to like VMware Workstation, but Broadcom bought it out and kind of shitified it. So Windows users don't have very many good options for virtualization, and VirtualBox is just crap. Let's just be honest. Oracle, VirtualBox, you use that because you just don't have any other options. That's the only time you'll ever see me use VirtualBox. On Linux, though, like this, I'm in Linux right now. This, for virtualization, QEMU, KVM, with Virt Manager as a front end, it's the best. Like, it's not even it's like not even close. It's so good. It is light years ahead of it. And you can see this, like Proxmox, guess what? It's using QEMU KVM, just a different front end they're putting on it. Just a different skin than Virt Manager. So you can, like, Proxmox is using KVM QEMU. It's the best solution. You know, it's so good. I can't emphasize that enough. So if you actually want to get like native performance from a virtual machine, this is what you do. Like, if you've seen level 1 text do like PCI pass-through, this is what he's doing. Like, it's so much better. And it allows me to have like the best of both worlds. I get my tiling window from Linux. I still can tinker around in Windows when I need to. And if I need to play a game in, I could. World of Warcraft, I just play through Wine, though. I usually do... Oh, I think for World of Warcraft these days, Bottles is another alternative. I think Bottles does it a lot better, a lot easier. But I think I'm still using like an older method with Lutris. I haven't played WoW, and I think Midnight's coming out soon. I'll probably load it back up for that because I'm a sucker. But, you know, React OS is the best. Hey, there's a special spot in my heart for Windows 2000 workstation.
Yeah, well,
so React OS.
The dude abides.
You know? Yeah. But yeah, if you really want to have fun with virtualization, God, learn QEMU, KVM with Virt Manager in your Linux instance. You will have the absolute dream setup eventually. Once you learn it. It's so good. Oh, chef's kiss. I just absolutely love it. Yeah. Oh, the Burning Crusade re-release in a couple hours. You know, I used to be an old school MMO player. Like, I played EverQuest 1 back in the day, 1999 and forward.
Yeah, well,
pretty recently, actually, you know, 5-6 years ago. So I don't have I think I had a lot more free time back then, and I don't think I can ever go back to how MMOs used to be. You know, World of Warcraft, EverQuest, and the time commitment around those is just so insane that last time I was playing EverQuest, I was using a virtualized setup where I'd run a whole box group, like 5 or 6 characters. And I programmed a lot of those characters to kind of autoplay themselves to like using like a macro quest type setup. And macro quest with like interspace, and then it would convert, and You do some injection, but it worked really well, and that way I could play an entire group. Like if I only had an hour, I could just jump in and play my, do all the missions or raids or whatever pretty simply. But that was like a really old game. I mean, EverQuest was like 30 something expansions. God, it's like 25 years old. No, 27 years old. It's an old game. I don't think I could go back now. But yeah, so much fun. All right, sorry. I like it. But yeah, I don't think I could go back to old school MMOs, period. Even given that, I just have too much going on between doing programming, my business, my day job, working out, all these other things that just take, and my family, and all these things that just take way higher priority, to where like gaming is like so far down on that list, where I still love game, but I can't spend more than an hour or two usually, unless it's like a day off and we're not have anything planned, maybe a little more. But a lot of times I'll find myself, it'll be like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I'll finally be able to, like, okay, I'll load up a game, play 1 or 2 hours, and I need it to be fast and simple and a little brain dead. And sometimes brain dead, depends on the day, right? If I really exerted myself that day, I might just be like drooling on myself, and I'll play Fallout 76 usually is my poison of choice these days. And that is so brain dead, and just I can just turn off my brain and just lay in bed with the Steam Deck and just jam out, have fun. And I kind of have all the little things where I can still tickle that fancy, because it's like the broken Bethesda engine, so I can do like auto sell, and like Fallout 76 like tries to gouge their customers with bad monetary decisions through inventory management. So I made scripts to essentially auto sell, auto scrap, just all the auto stuff that I find like that's tedious for no reason other than to extract money from the player. I'm going to automate that. So then I just automate all those things. So now I just sit there on my Steam Deck. I have 3 hotkeys to do what I just said. And then anytime my inventory starts filling up or I start getting over encumbered, I just run over to the station and just go click, and it just goes, scraps everything, cleans it up, gets my inventory, and then I'm back to gaming. And it just stays out of my way. And that's kind of my brain dead game of choice. The other thing is, if I have mental capacity and I really want to think and strategize with a game, Age of Empires 4 is just my jam. I just love the strategy behind that game, the efficiency. It just tickles that OCD part of my brain where I'm just sitting there going, okay, what's the most efficient way to build all this stuff and save like 3 or 4 seconds so I could hit like a timing attack on the opponent. And it just, that part is just fun too. So it just depends on what I'm feeling. And that's how I game these days. But MMOs, man, I'd love to go back. I just don't think I can. Yeah. Yeah. So cool. Age of Empires on the deck, man, that'd be rough. That would be really rough. You can't, you need the hotkeys. Like, I think I made like a little website, of course, with everything. Every game I like have a certain, like, if you go a4christitus.com, I think I was starting to build something in, I think it was Vercel base. I don't think it's public. Was it Aegis? Yeah, okay. So I kind of pulled this in from another project, and the idea was, hey, QR, QW, QW, QA, QD. So it's like all about efficiency in building with any RTS, right? And what you do is you build up that muscle memory. So when I'm off, if I can't play or do something with a game offline that involves coding, I typically don't do it. So, okay, so I got 25 buildings built. I do 58 actions per minute. I have an accuracy of 98. Fastest buildings. This house build is 1.3. So that tells my mind I'm a little bit slow on building houses, which is just QQ. So I need to make sure when I see a house think of QQ, maybe run this a couple more times, and then you build up that muscle memory. I still got to fix all that crap, but just bake it all right in. And then also I like to do a lot of Python coding for it too, where I'll pull in like all my games and it'll auto update through a GitHub action script. So then I can see exactly how I've been doing lately with like wins and losses, and it'll go through and just gauge, hey, this is all the exactly when I played the game, what the result was, the MMR difference, so the matchmaking difference. So if I'm winning a game, like winning against a -31 MMR yesterday, well, that guy was much worse than me, so of course I should win it. But this win with a MMR difference of +24, that was actually a good game. I played well, and I beat someone with a higher skill than me, and I kind of remember that. Like, this was obviously a terrible loss right here. I must have really just been, I think it was the first game of the day, and I just botched it. And then I have like a Hall of Fame where it'll go ahead and cull all my wins and losses, so I can see, hey, overall best win was January 23rd of this year against an opponent rating of 1099, and I was playing Macedonia. And you can kind of, I gamify everything, man. Like, it's just like, but I also like tie coding and other stuff in different languages. If I don't know a language, I'm like, oh, you know what, it's probably better if I did it in some other language, but I'm going to try this one because I just want to get some experience with it. And I just have so much fun. Yeah. You know? Is there a learning channel? A learning channel? Not really. I don't do much with YouTube content as much as I used to. I used to do like channels and just do all kinds of videos and monetize everything. But I don't know, these days I just want to learn. And that's where I get like most of my enjoyment, and and that's what's more rewarding than, let's say, money or ad stuff. Like, of course I could do much of different channels for all these other side projects, but a lot of these projects I kind of like just kind of hold close to me because I just want to work on them and not think about, hey, is this going to get views, or oh, I should title this differently, and then there's a whole different YouTube game that you can go into. And I'd just rather just have fun with it, you know? I think I can close that. I think I'm done with that. I think we're ready to publish this. Is there anything, chat? Sorry if I'm just rambling on. But is there anything that we wanted to see here on the GUI side before I pull this in? What do we think of the new install GUI? Yeah, that's true. That's what I do. It's my trademark. Rambling. I think it looks great. I agree. I think it's a lot better. Have an alpha channel on top of dev. Oh man, yeah. We could. But I rarely use the dev channel, so it's kind of like, eh. But it's getting much better. I agree. I think just kind of cleaning things up, tidying them in, listening to the community, and you're going to make a better product than anybody. I think that's the big thing, is having everybody kind of feedback and just say, hey, this is it, and then go, okay. I think a lot of products out there just don't listen to the community, and if they did, it would be so much better. And the beauty of open source projects is the community can actually just look at the code and go, well, this was stupid. Because you're going to write stupid code. It's just a matter of life. And having that's just nice. Try again with the vertical layout. Maybe there's something to change the XAML from horizontal to vertical so it works. I don't know. I think I like the current layout. Here, let's just run it again just so everyone sees what it is. And we'll do a poll. Let's do a poll. Let's do a compile run. And let's see if we need a little bit more finagling. But so far, I dig it. All right, So this is what we got. Let's blow this up just a hair on the scale. We'll just click some. I wonder if we could just get installed actually, so we get a little bit better. Ooh, is get installed working? Let's see. Oh, I probably should have cleared that before doing the git install. All right, let's start this new poll. All right. What should we title the poll? New layout. Looks great. Leave it. Let it cook more. I think that's what we're gonna do. All right, so this is new layout. Let's hit create poll. Let's vote. Let's go to the results. Let's share it with y'all. And that way YouTube and Twitch can do it at once. We can see the results. So this is the layout right here. I think the getting installed program still needs some work, by the way. Let's close this actually. Let's close, recompile. Whenever I see cook, it's just like, let's go. Hey, you can burn things, okay? You can leave it in the oven a little too long, you know?
Yeah, well. the
Trim,
dude
thanks for the
abides.
prime. All right, here we go. So this is it. The scroll's really good. Here, I'm going to blow it up so everybody can see. Let's go, heck, let's go 150. Let's go large. All right, this is what selection looks like. And this is the scroll. Now, obviously, this is at 150 scale. You can go with a lesser scale. But I think a couple things here. Checkbox. I think somebody mentioned the check mark should be smaller. We could modify that a little bit. Some people mentioned the spacing between the checkbox and the label here. We could reduce that. I artificially made the width a little bigger at 200 pixels. I kind of have to specify a cutoff point, because if you don't specify a cutoff or try and do it dynamically, inevitably you're going to get something like this right here. Python, Pi environment wide, and it just this long label that screws everything up, and then all the columns get wacky. And I'd rather much cut off those long labels and then go back and manually change those to be shorter than to allow them to screw up the formatting. I don't like the long formatting. That's why I like the older version, which this is what we're coming from. So this is where we're at right now. Let's go here. Let's go IRM. Let's just pull the current version. And we're going to go 150 on it so you can see an apples to apples from beginning of the stream to now. So let's go 150, apply, and let's go here. So this is the current version, right, of the utility that's live. This is the revamp. Current, revamp. See now the columns we could always adjust to be less, so if we wanted more in each column we could do that, but I kind of like a wider column because I felt like this one cut off of too many apps, like especially like these. I think these are Java releases that are in here, and I wanted to make sure that those were okay. Man, that's a split. Almost 50-50. Collapsible tabs. Okay. Submission website. It's all Git. So you can always do GitHub. You can do discussions on WinUtil. You can do issues. You can do pull requests if you want to donate code. It's all there. It's close. I feel like it needs a little bit longer in the oven. Okay. What? Man, look at that. 50-50. I'll leave it to chat. Y'all would troll me anyways. So what should we change? What's missing? Collapsible tabs. Categories should be collapsible. All right, let's make the categories collapsible. That should be easy enough. All right. Make categories collapsible by clicking a negative sign next to category or plus sign next to category label. Yeah, well, I'm used to at least getting some trolling behavior there. I do agree a collapsible state would be nice. But I think it is much better. It's so nice because I didn't want to just revert to code because Drift User worked on this GUI revamp. And that's why I've kind of been hesitant to revamp it because Drift worked on it for... Dude, it was like a year. You worked on it for a long time, refactoring quite a few things, adding theming and other things to it. So we couldn't just revert to code. I wanted to really work on it some more. All right. Oh, we might cook too long here. Okay. All categories, sure. Expanded plus category name. Okay. Let's look through. Okay. Wait a second. Cool. Okay. Let's see what we got. Should have done a commit before doing this, but YOLO. Dual booting. This machine out here, I do a PCI pass-through. I dual boot inside. However, I haven't booted into my Windows instance inside in a couple months, probably. I'm pretty much just do Windows, Linux out there. I was booting into Windows a lot more when I was playing, like, I forget what game it was I was playing a lot. What do you think? Feels a little weird. What's missing? I feel like when they're collapsed, well, I mean, it does work. Yeah, they need a stack. Agreed. Like having them next to each other is weird. When they are not visible and collapsed, they should take up the label category. Label should take up the entire row. Larger headings, minor descriptions underneath, and the count of apps available. Might be too much. Okay. I mean, if you don't know what games are or development tools, I just don't think the descriptions. I think that's a bit too much. Although I will say, probably a heading wise, I do agree that should probably be a different color or be a larger font. Although if you scale, you don't want to get too far out here. Oh, I think it did it trigger? Yeah, it's in use for another process. Okay. Let's kill that. 1 second. One more time. Sometimes it does this when I do multiple compiles. Why do you always seem drunk? Who says I'm not? I'm just high on life. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see what we got now. Nah, still pulling it in. Stretch did not quite take care of it. Let's try that one more time. I'm gonna take a screenshot, feed it in there. Yeah, I think a higher contrast for the labels. I agree. I almost want a drop shadow too added to the labels, and I think that would look a lot better. So I'm gonna change that to be a higher contrast with a drop shadow. All right. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's so much worse. Okay. All right, let's... Let's first get it to a spot where I'm comfortable. I need to do a commit. I'm going to revert this last one. I didn't think it was very good. I think doing this stretch was a mistake. Drunk off espresso, that's true. I love me some espresso. Ugh. Okay, that's gnarly. each category should category label should take up the entire row and not allow any other categories on it if it's not allow any other categories on that row. Let's see. Heck, let's just close all. Maybe we're just missing, oh, we were missing the category container and also the horizontal alignment for the toggle button. That should take care of it. Okay, I feel better about that. Friend request. Discord? When I get around to it, I'll see if I can't check it. Okay, let's go. No, that's not good. Try it again. Oh, okay, coding. What do we got? C# by Calum. Nobody likes F#. Aw. Ah, man. Why you gotta do me like... honestly, I don't blame you, though. F#'s kind of weird. I'm just... yeah, you know. You know. Certain things I like. This gets real weird real fast. Okay. Yeah, it looks bad. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Let's go here. Let's close that. Tell it to stack category labels when categories are hidden. Oh, yeah. Yeah, either stack or keep them on the left-hand side, I see. Okay, it's going to add a binding that dynamically sets each category container width to match the actual control's actual width. And then set each category label to take up the entire row, preventing multiple categories from appearing side by side, even when it's collapsed. The binding will automatically adjust when the window is resized. Nice. There's the binding, actual width, relative to source. All right. Looks good. I feel like this should get us what we need. Linux distro for gaming. I mean, do you want to tinker? Or do you just want it to work? That's a good question. Are you a power user? Do you like programming? Do you like... What are you going to be doing with it besides gaming? If it's just primarily gaming, Bazite. It's just so darn easy for folks. Yeah. Nobara, if you want to kind of twink a little bit, but you're just still primarily gaming. If you really are like a heavy power user and you're just doing some gaming on the side, maybe some programming, probably start with the Cashy OS. I prefer that. If you're a tryhard like me, Arch Linux, man. There is no other. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about, son. All right. Yeah. Okie dokie. What else do we have, chat? That's perfect. Is there any other things we need to cook? And before we do anything... Alright, let's do a commit. Make collapsible categories. Commit. Alright. Sync that. Alright, great. Now, what else do we need? Collapsible button. Done. Separate categories in div box. Categories lighter. Where is the collapse all button? Damn it, I was thinking that same thing. Okay. Alright, collapse all button and brighter stuff. Now, if we did it properly, we should just be able to go into themes. And category theme. 1 second. Category theme. I thought I had a color. Color picker, color highlight. Let's do color highlight. When was the last time this updated? Oh, 1 year ago. Perfect. Yeah, let's trust and install old Sergey. Sorry, 9 million people are using this code. What could go wrong? Oh, I like it. Yes, sir. All right, so we've got that. Now, toggle button on color. Yep. Main label or label background color. That's fine, I guess. I need label box foreground color. Should be that. I don't think it's grabbing the right color from our theme. Category label should use from themes.json. I don't think the foreground color is correct. Is this far too dark? I bet it got hard coded somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know where it was getting that old color from, but it should be grabbing it dynamically through the JSON, but I don't think it was. So, foreground property should be label box foreground color. What about the... What about the actual items? So here's the app list. Here's the category label. Huh. All right, let's keep it. Let's run that. I think, honestly, it was just not pulling that theme. And we want that to dynamically change. So if like users want to change something, it would just edit the theme.json. Nothing should be hard coded. Why don't we have app icons? I didn't even pay for it, but I'm entitled to it, Chris. I love it. I love it. Oh man. Well, app icons seems like bloat. That and like calling all that. You got to remember, like if this was, I think we could probably do it in the paid executable using F#, but like you have to download every freaking app icon to existence live for each user, or have like an online repository to grab those from. It'd be just a giant cluster. That's why. What's the future of MacUtil look like? Oh man, not bright. Not bright at all. I haven't been using Mac very often. I still use Mac for Final Cut. So I went back to Final Cut from DaVinci Resolve. Just because I just like, I kind of like Final Cut better. What about O&O shut up not letting you toggle the disable widgets button? I think O&O shut up was using the registry entry for disable widgets. It used to work, I think, on 23H2 and before, but Microsoft patched that out. We actually ran into the same problem over here. Where is the widgets? I think we removed it because it stopped working. So we used to have it right here. There used to be like a show or hide widgets button, and we had to remove it. It used to be a toggleable feature through registry, and then it just stopped being toggle. You couldn't toggle it anymore. God, I hate these toggles. I need to redo those. Anyways, let's change that foreground color. I feel like let's go color picker. Do I have color picker installed? I thought I did. Did I have that somewhere, right? Power Toys has color picker, doesn't it? Alt-Shift-C. Alt-Shift-C. 66E6FF. Okay. Yeah, let's copy that. Let's go with like a bright blue, right? A baby blue, if you will. GUI design sometimes can be a little bit mind-numbing. I don't have the best taste in the world a lot of times, so I rely on chat to straighten me out. All right. I like it better, actually. Yeah. Yeah, that looks a lot better, actually. It was too blendy. Just blended in a little too much. All right, now we add the collapsible buttons. So that's all fixed. Those are dynamically pulled from the theme. Next up. All right, close that. Let's go input XAML. Start over here. Add 2 buttons to left panel of install. Yeah. Tab. Oh, thank you, my love. Come on. I got chicken. Chicken, veggies, some pepper. Oh, so much. So much goodness here. Okay. Add 2 buttons to left panel, install tab. Collapse all categories. And expand our categories. Let's see what that does. Let's let it cook for a little bit. It's kind of insane how good this has gotten. Well, let's see. I shouldn't say that before it makes the changes. Nah. I mean, I guess. I mean, it could do that way. Does it really need that much code? I feel like that's a bit redundant. Collapse and expand. Yeah, that's too much code. Too much is redundant to create 2 functions for expanding.
and collapsing. Make this more concise. Shouldn't have that much files. Now remove all that crap. Okay. Still got some leftovers. You better clean that up. Clean it up. Yeah, these files should not exist. Delete them. You created them. Delete them. Ah. Yes. Still got to expand. That's going to be the next command. Now, come on. Yeah. Remove that. All right, better. 65 lines I can handle. 100 lines is a bridge too far. All right, let's look at this now. Minus, plus. More succinct. It looks fine. Now let's look at this. Also fine. Great. Gravy. I like it. There we go. So cleaned up. Looking good. Notepad++ instance. Yeah, I didn't like a plugin hacker or something get into Notepad. Who's using Notepad++ these days? Like, who uses Notepad++ in 2026? That's wild. Those buttons don't exist. What? This did not work. Oh, you do? Oh. Well. Ban you for using nano. Well. Yeah, no. Could happen. Notepad++ is still being used. Wow. Yeah, I pretty much switched everything to VS Code. And NeoVim. NeoVim and VS Code are like my go-to editors. I haven't used Notepad++ in many years. Oh, damn. Atom? They abandoned that. How long ago did Atom get abandoned? Because that was a GitHub project once upon a time. I think it got abandoned 5 years ago now? 6 years? Something like that. This did not work, by the way. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it. Let's see. That's actually a good point someone brought up in chat. Notepad++ is still used because it's such a simple application and it has fast load time. Compared to VS Code, the load time is considerably less. That's a valid point. I didn't think of that. I usually just have code if I'm editing a bunch of docs. Usually I just have code up and running in the background. Well, that's not right. Oh, I think it still might be changing code in the background. Oops, my bad. That's probably going to fail. Maybe. Maybe not. Should be below the selection label. Okay. Those buttons, those new buttons. No. The collapse and expand buttons should be below the selection label on left panel of install tab, where get installed and clear selection buttons are. That should give it enough context. I feel like that's going to give us what we need. ChatGPT? Nobody uses ChatGPT to code. I have never. I mean, now I think like Theo and some other people that actually do a lot of programming. Maybe they have something. Another thing. I know they like GPT like 5 and above a little bit. I've never had good results. Like, actually, for what I use and need, I'm like, hey. Ah, oh, dude, what are you doing? Okay. It's hard coding that left column to 200 pixels. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see how it turns out. Doesn't look right. Yeah. Let's see. GPT helps me. Which model are you using, Gabby? Yeah, you get some clean PRs too. You're not just bloating it up. Oh god, you guys want to see the most hilariously bad PR? Oh, I was on WinUtil the other day and I was like so floored. I saved it. I didn't close it out because I was like, this is hilarious. I kind of want to make fun of this one. Oh, I responded to it, but it was funny. God, it was awful too. Where are you? Git toggle correction. No. Main. This one. Yeah. Whoever Humba is. What the hell, man? He's adding 1,000 lines of code, deleting 3,000 lines of code. His comments were fix links, update tweaks JSON, update tweaks JSON, update tweaks JSON. You're going to comment what all this does? Deleting 3,000 lines of code and says it fixed shit is pretty wild. Oh, no. Oh, he didn't mean to open a PR. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Oh, he's translating it. Okay, I gotcha. Okay. Oh, goodness. Anyways, I thought that was hysterical. Yeah, so he didn't mean to open it. He was just translating it to his language. That was pretty funny though. I had a good chuckle on that. I like to leave some bad PRs open just to not necessarily ridicule somebody, but just showcase what a bad PR looks like. And that way people know, okay, I should never submit a PR that looks like this. And that's always fun. I love it. But don't let it discourage anybody out there. Just know I might publicly shame you, but I mean the best for you, you know? We all make mistakes. It's okay. Yeah, your close won't work on those, Gabby. It only works on issues. PRs are something I like to personally look at. So I won't allow any third party to open, close, or modify PRs without my knowledge. So I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to pull requests. I have very, very specific tendencies when it comes to code. Where I'm like, well, I like this. But anyways, let's compile and run this and see what this looks like. Are you trying to sound like Linus Torvalds right now? Dude, I would never compare myself to the Linus Torvalds. That's terrible. Dude, this is awful. I think it completely shit the bed on this one, guys. I always like saying this every stream, but I mean it. Thank goodness for Git. It's amazing. Do like that. Is that not in there at all? Yeah, I still think Git is the best creation from Linus Torvalds. I think it's better than Linux. It's just so cool. And he doesn't even, he like just turned it over. Like he only had like 1% of the code of Git. He was like just the original father of it. And then he turned it over and someone else pretty much ran Git after. Dude, it is just not there. Dang it, man. The selected apps. Slack, what? Oh, that's cool. A little drop down. Alright. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, the toggle of this is fine. This is fine for the button switch. For WPF button. Category app listing. I think this is where things went awry. Oh, no. That was the only change. Okay, that's fine. That's just pulling from the tweaks JSON file. So... So this is the file. Let's look at a input XAML around line 1200 and see if we can't fix this. And I don't think it's going to be able to get it. Okay, so this right here is where things just not so much. So this is the columns that it sets up. Apps by category. It goes selection. Yeah. It got us pretty far, though. You know? We can get the last bit. We're so close. What's going on here? This looks all wrong. No. Input XAML. Yeah, it just added all this crap. This is just not right. Like, looking at this working tree. Yeah, AI just crapped the bed and just added a bunch of... That's a no-go. It should be auto. Yeah. Then you can look at the working tree. So the working tree's fine. It dumped it. Let's see what this did. This was us just fixing the checkbox, which is fine. It's from another commit. So where, oh where, pray tell, did the selection come from? So chocolatey, winget, not here. No, not here. Install app area. Not here. There's no winget here. Where in the code is that dynamically created? Let's hunt it down. It should be on functions private. Honestly, I think I'm going to merge public and private functions. And there's such a mixed mash of crap in here. Okay, app area. Okay, get WinUtil selected packages. Where is this specified at? Let's see where this is called. That's install and uninstall. Okay, that's fine. WinUtil checkboxes. I think this is actually broken. No. WPF button? I don't think that's it. It's drawn from somewhere else. Yeah, right now I use GitHub. They give me a bunch of free credits, so I don't have to pay for any code. And I get like Sonnet 4 or 5, which is pretty good. Good enough. I don't have to be on like the bleeding edge. I just kind of want it to kind of work, you know? All right, let's see if we can't find into this damn thing. All right, so you config updates. Then you have this, which is the tweaks. Then in this one, it's the install tab, grid, parent, apps by category. Apps by category, I think, is dynamically drawn, and I think that should be drawn through that one function. Let's pull it up. So apps by category. Oh, dude, we're right there too. No. Let's see. Where is clear selection, get installed, and selected apps? Where in this project are get installed, clear selection, and selected apps buttons drawn? For some odd reason, I can't find them. Clear selection, get installed, and selected apps. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of weird. They're there somewhere, though. We'll find it. Well then. Okay. Now we should be able to Oh, let's see. Where should we put the... we'll put that above clear selection. So add collapse all categories, expand all categories, buttons above clear selection. Sound good? And no pork chops today. Chicken, onions, and carrots. Perfect. All right. Now we should have those right under the selection. And we'll do a compile run. Yeah, see, if you just kept vibing where we were at, it just would have kept, like, looping itself. So you had to think from a troubleshooting standpoint, like, hey, it's just not drawing the buttons. Let's look and find how it's drawing these other buttons and figure out kind of where in the vicinity you want to add those buttons. Then you can actually properly add them. So now, collapse, expand. So that's the thought process that goes into this. So you can't, like, people are like, I'll just keep vibing. You're going to just have this perpetual loop. You'll burn through tons of money and you're just never going to get a good solution. So you still have to, like, pause, use your brain a little bit. Okay, it's obviously looking in the wrong spot. It's obviously not working correctly. And I could see from some of the code it added, like, it tried to do two separate functions for collapsing and expanding. I was like, that's stupid. The code's the same. Let's just add, like, a little trigger to say collapse it or expand it and then feed it all the same code. So there's, like, ways to, like, if you just let it take control, you're just going to add, like, hundreds of lines of code, which is crap. And this way, it's just much more succinct. So that's, like, how to use it and then how to troubleshoot it so you don't run into these never-ending loops. All right. We fixed the labeling. We've got the collapse and expand. What else we got, guys? What else, chat? Yeah, you absolutely have to have interaction back and forth. When do we remove chocolatey? Man, I am not about to hunt down every damn package because we have to use scoop or chocolatey or something else because some people hate winget and we need to have those options. Follow the dry principle as a rule. What is the dry principle, pseudo overflow? I am not a traditionally trained programmer. Most of the stuff I learned in school is not applicable in this. Don't repeat yourself. Is a principle of software development aimed at reducing repetition of information, which is likely to change. Oh, use the dry principle. All right, I like it. I'll have to steal that from you. Yeah, scoop is technically better than chocolatey in a lot of ways. Chocolatey just has more selection. So I'm kind of on the fence. Going through and finding all those packages that we have in here under scoop is going to be rough. Is it possible to get what tweaks you've done with the tweaker? Kind of. We've attempted this in the past. It still doesn't work very well, but possible. Chris breaks the rule every stream. Yeah, that's fair. Keyboard and mouse I'm using. I am using a glorious, well, let me just say. All right, I'm using a glorious GMMK 100% ANSI keyboard. So that's my keyboard. And then for my mouse, I'm using a Logitech G502 SE Hero gaming mouse. Wired everything. I don't do wireless. Forget what I was using the Bolt receiver for. Oh, that's like my backup. Just in case things go awry, I can still connect. So those are my things. That's usually what I rock. I really like the Glorious keyboard. It's a little bit harder to do custom firmware flashes on it, but once you do it, it's actually pretty good. So I did do a custom firmware flash. I had to track down like a really obscure repo in GitLab, and then that worked great. So, do you not think WinUtil has too many packages? I try to kind of, I think there's a happy medium here. It's kind of to a good package count to where we'll remove some packages, we'll add some packages, but I kind of want to keep it around the packages it's at right now, and then just swap things in and out as it makes sense. I'm not going to add every package known to man, like really obscure packages and crap that no one uses, I'm not going to add. It has to be relatively popular. We're going to add it to this thing. His idea is to have this as a, hey, I just installed a new system, click, 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 install, done, close it, get out. So it's just meant to be a convenience tool, not like an end-all be-all, like probably something for like an end-all be-all of like if you want every package known to man and install everything. I would use, I thought I had it loaded. Yeah, there it is. I would use UniGet UI if you have like a ton of stuff that you're keeping track of. This does Python, Node.js, Rust, WinGet, I think Scoop, Chocolatey. I mean, just like literally everything. What? WinGet, Scoop, Chocolatey, NPM, pip, Cargo, VC packages, .NET, PowerShell. Literally, it will install and use everything. And that way you can just be like, update, and it'll just go through bulk update. So if you want and use a ton of packages on Windows and you want to keep them up to date, highly recommend using UniGet UI. My tool is meant to be an initial, hey, get everything going, update it, and then get out. But for like perpetual updates and stuff like that, I still think UniGet UI does it great. I might copy some of their stuff. This is open source, which means I can copy quite a bit from them, which I do look at some other open source projects and stuff. All right, I think this is good, right? We let it cook a little bit longer. We've got everything. Finish, new install GUI. I think we're nice and finished. Let's do a pull request for this. Let's pull that up and we'll do a pull request. Compare and pull request it. New install GUI. Yep. We'll call this UI UX improvement. Description. This brings back elements of the old UI while also keeping the new advancements that were made in the UI revamp that happened last year. Sounds good. Let's create that. Check, check, check. Ooh, I do need to make changes to the documentation. We'll uncheck that. Let's make a label. UI update. Boom. Done. I made like a GitHub action that goes through, and if you tick UI update, it'll automatically assign the UI updates label. So then when we do that, it should be good. Should be good. Yeah. Anything else, guys, that we can think of? We'll probably merge that into the main branch before the next release. I'll have some people look over what all we changed here in this PR. If we look at the PR itself, here's the file changes. We removed 54 lines of code. We added 200 lines of code. So we're doing collapsing and expanding categories, changing the app entry width and making it a little bit tighter with this. Also, brightening up the label block's foreground color. This was just formatting fixes, apparently. Formatting fixes and removal of white space from some combinations. Here's the collapse and visible categories. We have this for category matching. When searching, it'll actually get rid of things, which we should test really fast. I did not test that. All right, let's go WinUtil. And let's compile run. Hey, I'd love to. Yeah, give me the link, Sudo, if you ever do make the post about LLM setups, because I think, you know, it's always something we could improve. So let's say we get scoop. Oh wait, what do we got? In map. Ah, shoot. Beep. We broke the search. Damn. Search is broken. And I thought we were done. Ah, feels bad. Look at commits for this branch and find where it breaks the search, as search is not working, and sometimes it auto selects an app on launch in install tab. Alrighty. I'm really glad I started doing the new branches for any commits, because otherwise you have to feed it specific commits. When you're just working on like one specific thing and having it isolated to a branch, ugh, it makes it so easy. Alrighty. What are we changing? Well, that's a lot of changes. Okay. Just this one file, okay. There we go. Let's try it out. I have a PR to remove 600 lines. Hey, I always love the PRs where it removes lines of code. Like I said, I always thought, like, if I was a professional programmer, I think it was like, I forget who it was, but they said, oh, that's how it's getting selected. Okay. Programmers were getting gauged on how many lines of code they added and wrote. And I was like, you know what? Every good programmer I have ever met, they remove more code than adding code, especially on big projects. Itch. Nice. Okay. Python. Oh, it even searches the description as well. Oh, that's cool. Love it. Yeah. God, that's good. Yes. Man, that's nice. Chrome. Nice. Expand, collapse. Expand, collapse. Chocolatey. Winget. Yep. Alright, cool. And that's why we test. Fix, search. Commit, sync. Yeah, it always needs a rework. I agree with that. A lot of the verbose code, it does. You gotta watch it. Usually whenever I'm doing the commits, I look to see how many lines it's adding versus how many lines it's removing and changing. So, always important. Let's refresh this. Alright, cool. Reload. Okay, so here's our changes now. A lot of this is just compile fixes. App entry width, expansion, some changes here. This is just documentation. Then we got our compatibility. And then we have the search. Nice. Initialize app install area. We were using a stack panel, switched it to a wrap panel. Category app list. This whole section got reworked. All right. And then we have our expanding and collapsing for the categories. A couple padding and just GUI changes here that we manually made. And then just removing some of the margin. Is there anything else, chat? I think that should do it. I feel like that is a vast improvement on the GUI. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't believe companies would ever rate their employees based on how many programming lines they write. That's just stupid. Like I said, the fewest lines is better, and, you know, it always matters. And you can see it in a lot of modern programming too, where it's just so bloated. And you look at how elegant some of the old code was when stuff was much slower and it couldn't, you know, you had to write really efficient code. Like, think of like the old school games that had to fit on like a 64 meg cartridge. That's insane. Or like a 700 meg CD, you know? That's so cool. You can just see how amazing things can be with less code and how fast they can run. So, like, I don't know. It almost makes me want to try and do something like, I don't know. How efficient is, like, the Unreal Engine? Is it just that programmers like I don't know much about game development, but I will say it does seem like a lot of Unreal games are very poorly optimized, and I don't know if that's the publisher or the actual engine itself that's inefficient. So, yeah. I'll leave the PR open for now. Probably get that consolidated sometime next week. Have some people do some peer review. I'm sure Gabby will want to take a look at it. And that's it. Hey, that's a big PR, Gabby. Also, we'll probably look at removing Microwin and all the Microwin code. And we'll get that cleaned up as well. We're really trying to minimize WinUtil. Right now, I think it's at 700 KB, and I said it would never hit. It would never hit 1 meg. I think it is. Yeah, we're at 694 kilobytes, and I've been really working on minimizing those lines of code and getting that down and looking at PRs. And I know Gabby's made a lot of good PRs where we're removing that. We'll remove Microwin, which will chop a lot of those lines of codes off. Microwin is pretty expansive on how big that is, just because of the scope of that project is pretty large. It's cool that we're able to do it, but I think removing it and making its own project is probably the way to go there. And then making this as fast as possible, because if it gets much bigger, it's going to be too slow and people won't like it. And I think that's the important thing at the end of the day. Yeah. I hate looking at UI changes. I will not be looking at it. Nah, no worries, man. I get it. Like, UI changes are so subjective, you know? You can't just look at it and go, oh, yeah, here we go. So, yeah, no worries, man. I missed a question. For a Linux user, 691 kilobytes is bloat. Fair. What do we miss here, Christoph? You want to break WinUtil even more by adding AI? AI is a baby. You missed my question. Would you possibly only show open source? Is there like a way to filter? I probably wouldn't on open source stuff. At the end of the day, I don't really care if something's open source or closed source. I just want to make sure it's a good app. So at the end of the day, the cream always rises to the top. That's the app that'll be there. Whether it's open source, closed source, I don't care. If it's the best, that's what'll be there. So that's fine. As far as AI and stuff, like I said, it's a good tool. Just know how to use it. Are you going to do PRs now? Nope. Shutting it down for today, man. We are... He missed the joke. Oh, God. You know, sometimes I miss the joke for sure. Although I will probably look at the PRs on Monday. Maybe a little bit on Friday tomorrow too, Gabby, but offline. I'm not going to do that online. Like, reviewing PRs online, I don't mind doing it from time to time, especially if it's like a really cool PR. But I kind of gotten to the point where I really like doing a lot more offline. And it's really easy to filter and go, oh, this is a cool PR, or it does something really big. I like to kind of save that for the stream. But a lot of the more monotonous PRs and stuff like that, where people just don't care because it doesn't really change that much. It's just like, hey, I fixed a spelling error. I'm just going to merge those in. And then that way we can save like the really good juicy bits for the stream that are entertaining, that really are the things that people care about. So I'm really working on that. So like on Friday, Monday, I usually don't ever stream anymore. And I've been trying to dedicate those for just cleanup, project cleanups and more monotonous work that maybe isn't the most entertaining thing. Yeah. Are you going to check out Disable Defender? I checked and the code isn't flagged. Ooh. We can. I think, Gabby, what we do, we leave it up to the community. We'll do a poll. We'll do a poll for it and see what everybody thinks. I just, I'm hesitant to add it because we've done it in the past and it's just gone all... It always goes south. It always gets flagged. People freak out and go, yeah, Titus is trying to infect everybody. And that's just not fun. I don't like that. So that's why I'm always like, God, touch and defender. Antivirus is going to freak out. So maybe. We'll see. Not a signed copy, yeah. Yeah, we'll take a look though. Liked it. Great. Yeah, appreciate it, Sudo. Yeah, if you write that LLM article, I'd love to read it because there's always more to learn. Like I said, I'm still a baby in the programming sphere of things. I still like, yeah, I have decades of experience writing scripts and things like that. But when it comes down to like coding programs and those types of things, I know what I like to see, and I usually can differentiate good and bad code. But LLM usage, it's very much a hit and miss for me. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes I'm just like, screw it. I'm throwing it to the wayside. It's not working for me. And I know there's better ways of doing what I'm doing. It's just, hey, you got to do what works for you. And that's what I do. And I like to just kind of do it all on stream too. So you can kind of see my workflow and go, hey, this is stupid. You should do it this way or that. Because at the end of the day, what I love about these streams is you have direct feedback to me so I can fix things easily, because people will go, oh, that's great, or no, that's dumb. And I'll be like, okay, cool. And then I can directly improve things a lot faster. It's a really fast feedback loop. And then like the second thing I love about the streams is you can kind of tell me where I could tweak things, where I can speed up my own workflow, or I can improve or learn. And it kind of shows, exposes my weaknesses, and those weaknesses, then I can improve them so they're no longer weaknesses. So it's kind of cool, and I love that. So that's what I love about streaming. But yeah, still every Tuesday, Thursday. I'm sorry I missed this last Tuesday. I was actually traveling, so I wasn't here. And when I got back, it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I think it was, and I was just like, man, I am whipped. I had been driving for like 12 hours in the past 4 days, and I was like, I would just be sitting here drooling on myself on the stream. Well, that might be fun or entertaining. I was just like, I'm out. So that's why I didn't stream on Tuesday, but it should be good. You should come on in the PR and let people know they can make a PR to that branch. Well, I mean, they should make their own branch for their PR. Yeah. So, I mean, I think once I might save it, Gabby, for the executable, where the executable won't include all that code for the disabled defender. And I think I might, it depends. I'll try it out. We'll give it a whirl and see. We'll probably actually install some test environments with antivirus programs and see what it flags and what it doesn't, and see how it goes. This is the best way we can do it. Test it. That's the best remedy, I think, for everything. Always test. Always be testing. Why can't you do the Windows Linux doesn't have the built-in tools that Windows has, like DISM and many others. We use a lot of baked-in tools on Microwin to make the ISO, and that's in a Windows environment only. Like, Wine doesn't have those tools. Those are copyrighted and very, very Microsofty. So those are all baked into Windows, but that's why you have to make the ISO in a Windows environment. But, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great one. See you all on next Tuesday. We should have a fun one. We'll see where we're at. I'm going to close some PRs, clean up some stuff. Either probably like the offline executable we might work on. We might work on WinUtil a little bit. Might do some PRs. We'll see how we're feeling on Tuesday. But until then, have a great weekend.